Welcome to MS Craftshop. This is the second video in the summer tutorial series. I hope you will join me and we will have fun creating this item. Today we will make a cover for a mini sketchbook with a pencil and a side pocket. I'm not a talented painter, but I'm sure that many gifted people would appreciate such a mini sketchbook that you can easily take on a trip. Some people take pictures, while others imprint their memories with a pencil on the page. So, let's get to work. For this project we will need a cover by Craft O'Clock number 10, a small sketchbook 10 cm by 14.5 cm, a set of papers from Craft O'Clock called Vintage Bison. I bought additional Project Life cards from the same collection, 240 grams black paper, two mm plain beermat or fibreboard, decorative border punch, 5 mm and 9 mm strong double-sided tapes, neodymium magnets, ribbons. We start the project by making the cover. Cut the beermat according to the given sizes, two pieces of 13.5 cm by 18 cm and a spine of 3 cm by 18 cm. Tape the back of the beermat with a strong, wide, double-sided tape. Cut the cover and remember to leave 2 to 3 cm margins on each side of the beermat. As you have noticed, first I remove the tapes from the inside of the beermat and only after sticking it using dia pick remove the tapes from the edges. It lets me maneuver the beermat into its final resting place. This procedure takes a bit longer, but for me it works 100% of the time. If you have your own method of achieving this, stick to it. To know where to stick the beermat, I mark the top left point of the margin. Thanks to this, I can be sure that I will attach the beermat in a straight line. The distance between the beermats should be twice the depth of the beermat. You can measure it with a ruler or glue two beermats together. Insert them between the beermats to measure the correct distance. After sticking the beermats, fold the cover margins inwards on each side. Now cut the corners of the cover margins, keeping a similar distance from the beermat corners as the depth of the beermat. Due to this, the cover will cover up the corners of the beermat without any problem. Then put a wide double-sided tape on the beermat's edges. Apply the glue and fold the cover margins to the inside. Wipe the excess glue with a paper towel. The cover must stick well to the surface, so fill in the gaps. cover is almost finished. Now we will apply the black paper to the inside. We measure and cut out the piece, leaving 2 mm gaps on each side. Add double-sided tape to the edges to ensure that it sticks well to the surface. Follow up by removing the tape. We continue by slowly, using a ruler or a paper creaser, folding the cover. You have to do this very gently to avoid breaking the paper. Ensure that paper is well attached to the surface and add some extra glue if needed. We proceed to decorate the inside of the cover. Before we do that, prepare by cutting fitted paper and start from the right side, where we will place the sketchbook. The sketchpad is 10 cm wide. We measure 1.5 cm from the top edge of the paper and make an incision 11 cm long. Keep equal distances on both sides. We make additional cuts 2 mm above and below the first incision. Remove the strips and we have prepared a place where to install our sketchbook. This place is highly exposed to damage. Hence, we will secure it with an additional strip of paper to reinforce it. The reinforcement strip should be 11.5 cm long and 2 cm wide. And as before, we make one cut in the middle, then 2 more under and above the first cut. This gap should be slightly smaller than the original incision, probably around 3 mm in height. Obviously, if you do not expect to change the sketchpad, you can simply glue it to the cover inside. However, we have prepared a warm home for our sketchpad, so we continue. Now we can tape it to the cover using 0.5 cm double-sided tape placed on all the edges. Let's make sure the sketchbook fits in the gap. I focused so much on making a slit that I forgot to shade the edges. It's not necessary, but with vintage paper it works very well. Fortunately, the paper from this collection itself is so rich and decorative that the lack of shading is barely visible. My sketchpad has a very thick back card. As it is, it does not fit into its pocket. It is expected. We will be replacing the back of the sketchpad with a different, thinner piece of cardboard. As you can see, the sketchbook fits perfectly now. This time I have not forgotten about shading the paper's edges. I use distress ink called Gutter Twinks, my favorite. However, it is not necessary, as I said. To decorate the front cover of the sketchbook, I cut a matching piece of paper from the collection and glued black paper. To help open the sketchpad easier, I attached a ribbon. If you don't want it, you don't need to do it. The right side is finished and we can take care of the left pocket. It is about 7 to 8 cm deep and must be 2 cm wider than the paper used to decorate the left side. Also add 1 cm to the bottom edge. Then score left, right and bottom sides, leaving 1 cm from the edges to form a pocket. I have previously decorated the upper edge with a border punch. Bend the folded edges inwards, trim the corners and stick them to the paper. I write down the letter M to remember where to attach the magnet. The pocket will have a little flap and I use a scrap of paper for this purpose. We score 1 cm from the top edge and stick it to the cover in the middle before gluing the decorative paper. At the end of the scrap, we will attach a magnet, so for now I write the letter M to not forget about it. Now glue the pocket to the left side of the cover and decorate the middle section of it. Stick the magnets with double-sided tape to the flap and pocket, then mask them with decorative paper. Using die cuts, I cut 2 larger circles from black paper and 2 smaller circles from decorative paper and glued them to the flap. If you don't have such die cuts, you can always cut squares or rectangles, which will work as well. We continue by making note cards. Start by cutting out 3 cards from the Project Life paper collection. Glue them to one side of the black paper and white paper to the other side. These cards will be ideal for notes or additional drawings. Now we will prepare and install the pencil pocket. We will need a piece of paper measuring 4.5 cm by 3.5 cm. Score paper with every groove and bend it to fit the pencil. The pocket must have a tight grip on the pencil as it will stretch slightly during use. Glue the edges of it with a double-sided solid 0.5 cm tape. Add glue in the place where the tape is missing and press firmly. Make sure that the edges stick together well. Then we attach the pocket to the middle section of the cover. Press down for a moment and let it dry to make sure it stuck well to the surface. The sketch pad is almost ready. Let's decorate the other side of the cover. Stick ribbons on the front and back covers using double-sided tape. Prepare decorative fitted paper and glue it to the black paper. Attach double-sided tape to the other side of the black paper. The icing on the cake will be a lovely girl who will decorate the front cover and the sketch pad. As always, peel the tapes from the center first. Stick the paper to the exterior and then to the edges. Finally, if you want, decorate the sketchpad with black lace. Please let me know if you like the project. Leave your comments under the video, subscribe, and see you in the following tutorial.